Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. We'll start with the headlines. Supreme Council for Planning discusses results of a study on modernizing emergency plan for Sohar Port and replanning of Ghala industrial area. 20 housing units are awarded by the Internal Tender Committee of the Ministry of Housing for a number of wilayas of the Sultanate. And the UN Security Council will discuss the results of the Geneva Conference on Yemen. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in details. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, Emir of the State of Qatar, on the anniversary of assuming rule of the State of Qatar. His Majesty the Sultan also sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Borut Pahor of Slovenia on his country's independence anniversary. His Majesty sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Filipe Nyusi of Mozambique on his country's independence anniversary. And His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sent a cable of greetings to Her Excellency President Kolinda Kitarovic of Croatia on her country's National Day. Discussion of results of a study on modernizing emergency plan for Sohar Port and Free Zone in Sohar topped the topics of the Supreme Council for Planning during its third meeting of the year. The Council viewed indicators which were specified by the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development, Rio 20. It also discussed remarks raised by Muscat Municipality regarding the project of replanning of Ghala industrial area, determining land plot usages, and developing the infrastructure. It also reviewed the future planning project for Khasab Seaport in the Governorate of Musandam, which will confirm the comprehensive strategy for economic growth. The meeting was presided by His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masoud al-Sunaidi, Minister of Commerce and Industry and Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Planning. "20 residential units in a number of the wilayas of the Sultanate were awarded by the Internal Tender Committee of the Ministry of Housing in its meeting today, chaired by His Excellency Engineer Saif bin Amr al-Shakhsi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Housing. These units came as part of Housing Assistance and Loans Program initiated by the government for beneficiaries. Thousands of Omani families benefited from the program, which aims to provide appropriate residence and decent life for citizens. The new housing projects awarded by the Internal Tender Committee will be in the wilayas of Al-Jazr, Bahla, Matrah, Amirat, and Ja'lan Bani Bu Ali. It also awarded the consultancy service tenders for 30 additional residential units in the wilaya of Adam. The committee also opened the envelopes of consultancy services and the construction of 45 residential units in a number of villages in the wilaya of Bahla. Designing supportive environment for entrepreneurship in Oman universities through benefiting from successful experiments that focus on economy of knowledge to develop higher educational programs was the center of discussion of a workshop organized by Oman University Project. More than 40 participants from different public authorities, establishments and companies took part in the event. A number of work papers were presented in the workshop, including the legal and organizational framework for entrepreneurship, environment and system, entrepreneurship incubation, funding opportunities and challenges, and building capabilities as well as education. Omani-Italian relations and ways to exchange expertise between the two countries in various fields were discussed during the meeting of His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Saif al-Mahrouqi, Deputy Governor of Dhofar, with Captain Daniele Martio Nazi, commander of the Italian ship Libiku, accompanied by the Italian military attaché during the docking of the vessel at Port Salalah. The meeting also dealt with a number of topics of common concern and ways to support cooperation in various fields. The number of visitors to Kharif Salalah amounted to 2,032 by the end of 23rd of June, compared to 4,180 visitors during the same period last year. The National Center for Statistics and Information said that Omanis represented 46.8% of the visitors, Emiratis 6.7%, and the rest of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries' nationals 3.8%. And still to come in our news bulletin. During the holy month of Ramadan at the Ibra Souq, iftar meals are prepared for the customers, visitors, as well as those who work in the souq. back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The United Nations Security Council will hold a special session on Yemen to listen to a report by the UN envoy Ismail Wald Sheikh Ahmed regarding the recent Geneva conference. Meanwhile, Houthi rebels and forces loyal to former President Ali Abdullah Saleh launched sporadic shelling on different areas of Aden. Yemeni medical sources said 2 people were killed and 7 injured, among them women and children, as a result of the shelling. The Inma district witnessed fierce clashes between the Houthis and the Popular Resistance Force and led to countless families to flee to safer places as the humanitarian situation became very acute in some places in Yemen. In Iraq, 17 civilians were killed and dozens injured in 2 different incidents in the city of Baqouba to the north of Baghdad. An official source said the incidents were executed by booby traps in cars placed near a coffee shop in a crowded street. And the second blast happened by an explosive device put near a road in Palestine district in the middle of Miqdadiyah. In another incident, 5 Iraqi policemen were killed and 8 others were wounded in 3 suicide attacks carried out by Daesh group east of Tikrit. The White House denied spying on telephone calls of French President François Hollande, clarifying that the United States is working closely with France in all international issues. French government spokesman Stéphane Le Foll today commented on documents released by the WikiLeaks that alleged the U.S. National Security Agency spied on Hollande and his 2 predecessors, saying that a decision to complain against the United States had not been taken. He also said there was no phone call or communication on schedule for the day between Hollande and U.S. President Barack Obama, although there had been contacts between presidential officials on the 2 sides. The documents appear to capture top French officials in Paris between 2006 and 2012, talking candidly about Greece's economy, relations with Germany, and Americans spying on allies. While there were no huge surprises, the release of the documents last night angered and embarrassed French officialdoms. Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry in the Governorate of Musandam held a Ramadan gathering discussing a number of topics concerning the Municipal Council's future plans and programs in different wilayas of the Governorate. Discussions also touched upon challenges facing the Council in addition to its activities and field visits to check the level of services rendered at the Governorate. Images of social solidarity are seen in Ibra Souq through the iftar gatherings in the holy month of Ramadan in this wilaya. People in the souq prepare iftar meals for those who came to buy from far away, as well as those working in the souq. It reflects the religious principles of cooperation and tolerance in this sacred month. In the Governorate of Al-Buraimi, mosques get crowded in the sacred month of Ramadan with teachers and learners of the Holy Quran. Such sessions are an image of spirituality witnessed in this holy month, where youth and kids of various ages gather in order to utilize their leisure time to learn the Holy Quran, its teachings and values. They learn recitation and memorization of the Holy Quran in circular sessions supervised by specialist teachers. And now for the general weather forecast. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas and the nearby mountains of the Governorate of Dhofar with chances of intermittent drizzle. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear to partly cloudy skies with chances of scattered rainfalls towards the evening over the Hajar Mountains and the nearby areas. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate along the coast of the Sea of Oman, while it will be northwesterly light to moderate, occasionally active along the rest of the Sultanate. Seas along the coast of the Arabian Sea will be rough with a maximum wave height of 5 meters, and the rest of the coast it will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Supreme Council for Planning discusses the results of a study on modernizing emergency plan for Zahar Port and replanning of the Ghala industrial area. 20 housing units are awarded by the Internal Tender Committee of the Ministry of Housing for a number of wilayas of the Sultanate. And the UN Security Council will discuss the results of the Geneva Conference on Yemen. With that, we come to an end to tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, good night.